Alright, as you can see, we went and cut resolder foam, different sizes. This is a little bit above 1/4 of an inch in there, that little bar that we have to match up. I will take the closest one. It doesn't have to be 100% match. Pretty forgiving project that we have here. At the same time, I went on ahead and cut all my little pieces. What I ended up doing is taking the 1-inch foam and just choosing a different thickness. So I cut each one time. One half is one thickness, the other half is the other thickness. I didn't even really measure. I mean, I just made sure that one of them protrudes much more than the other one. We're going to decorate these into individual little brick patterns. Alright, here's our first cuts of our project. I cut these to cover the ends, and we'll cut them the height a little bit later. And then each one of these just lay in there. Now these are taller than that. Like I said, different sizes, different area. So there's our base. It'll work out great. All we have to do is take our little fill pieces, and we got very lucky that one of the cuts of the blocks actually fit and make it perfect. So we're just going to use like 3 of them, just enough to add support. It's all going to lay together, every other one. Got a 1/4 inch gap in between here and there. They look really nice. And then what I'll do is I'll just try to find the center here. These 2 lines I started here. Center is just about right there. I'll make sure that piece lines up on center, and I'll build out from there, because I'm going to cover these with little pieces when we're done. And you may even try to stick them down there so you don't see little gaps when we're done. The first thing we have to do, we have to texture these, each one of these, into our stone figure, and that's what I'm going to do next. Alright, we're going to set up our little brick pattern. It's pretty simple. This is off of a little square that I had. It's 3/4 inches wide. Really nice for marking centers at 1.5 inches. If this was 2 inches, I have a little ruler here that I would use. It's 1 inch. Makes quick work of this. You can find something that works for you for each measurement. The way I do it is I like to lay this on the side and hold the piece up against it and pull my pencil or my little scribe tool that I'm using. Now we can flip it up on end, reverse it on the other end. There we have most of our brick pattern laid out. Now all we have to do is the center brick line. Just take your time and line it up on this side. I never get these always perfect, but that's okay. They seem to come out, that one's a little bit off to one side. And just repeat. I go ahead and do this to each and every single one of my layouts. Even the thicker ones, I do it exactly the same way. You can do it this way. It's just not as easy. Might be easier for you to do it this way. I still think this is the fastest. just repeat this process till they're all done. Some people may have used a razor tool like this to do all these markings, and then take this pen or a pencil of some sort or some kind of tool and actually press into this to give a depth to the brick. I use these little diamond encrusted tools. I just pull the diamonds across the surface like this, and it gives a beautiful score line. Just like that. On the taller bricks, I was turning them on the sides and actually cutting in a little channel. These you can see half of the bricks, so you don't have to do this, but it just adds a bunch of element or depth to the project. Same way with the small ones. You can do them exactly the same way. You just pull across. Remember, bricks are never perfect, so if you get a little rip out or tear out, it just adds to it. Just like that. I'll do one more for you. Sometimes you can even correct a little bit of your mistake if you're off a little bit. As soon as I'm done with this stage, I take my aluminum ball and I just roll over it to add my texture. On the small ones, you only really have to do the surface. On the bigger ones, I always do the sides because there's a sticking up. It looks nice to have a little texture. Don't forget to do your surface. Now sometimes I even go along and push a few like this or in there just to add a little bit of, not exactly 100% straight looking anymore, but it has a lot of texture and depth. So that's how I would texture and add the lines to the bricks. Alright, one thing I do real quick before we go build our project, or put together our project, is I'm going to go ahead and stick these nails in. And these nails are going to go just a little bit below center. So basically the top side of the nail is going to touch the center line. And I just eyeballed them. These are going to be used to hold the little dog tags. I did this for convenience. I just pushed them into where they were just about to come through the bottom. So as I stack them, and when I'm done, I can just push them straight in and align them. So do that to each and every single one of your bricks after you get done texturizing. Remember, there's a little bit of extra foam behind this, so they have something else to protrude in. If you're a little off, you can just adjust it. The way I do that is I just take a little bit of glue and swirl around, you'll see. Alright, now let's go to assembling our project.